Beautiful. I'd like to call our meeting to order at 6:06 p.m. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate that. I think for the sake of the filming, we should all introduce ourselves, please. Nate, do you want to start?
Sure. I'm Nate Archambault, class of 1998.
I'm Kristen Trombley, class of 1995.
Sally Sargent, class of 1977.
Donna Corrigan, class of 1980.
Catherine Hall, class of 2001.
Louise Haynes, class of 1965.
Kurt Swan, class of 1981.
Thank you. Thank you for coming and being here. Hopefully we have people signed in. Let's get to our agenda, please. Louise, are you ready with an overview and a report?
I am, but do you want the minutes from the September 27th, 2023, or no, 2022? Do you want, that's the last, no, we're good. Okay. So a highlight of 2022, and I add that because we didn't do an annual meeting last year, was the awarding of 5 $1,100 scholarships. And how that works is that the students here apply, the applications come to us, Donna gets them to each of us, copies them and gets them to each of us. We have a chance with a graph to review each one, and then we get together and decide who's going to get it. So the Frank Horn Scholarship was won by Isabella Williams, the Reginald Godin Scholarship by Yahir Ramirez, the Reginald, we did that one, and the Alumni Scholarships, Manny Cippinelli, Marshall Mulharen Herbert, and Zachary Smith. And during that year of 22, we were at the homecoming game, which generated some revenue. Wasn't exactly meant to be a fundraiser, more the idea of chumming with people and having people know us as the Alumni Association, and had lots of people stop by. It was really fun. And, you know, the contacts were really great. Also, Donna arranged for a BFA alumni store through Main Street Graphics, so we were able to buy some t-shirts, sweatshirts, etc. And several board members during that time reviewed the alumni artifacts here. Some have been transferred to the museum, and each class at BFA to date has its own file, and a new file is added every year. And I have to thank Teresa Callan, and before her, Shirley Raymond, for keeping event-related information for us every year. So whatever doesn't come in the newspaper, or that I don't get pieces of programs and that sort of thing, they save them. So there's quite a bit in those. So it starts with 1930 all the way up to 2023, and the 2024 file is in place. The highlights of 2023, again, were the scholarships. We did 3 $2,000 scholarships, same process, how we determine who the award winners are. The Frank Horn Scholarship went to Miss Genevieve LeClaire, Reginald Godin Scholarship to Miss Hannah Brannon, and the Alumni Scholarship to Miss Bryn Bissett. And during this time, we also spoke about changing the time of the annual meeting, which our bylaw says would be in June. Well, you know how busy June gets, and several people here are involved with that. So we moved it to September, and Donna checked with Megan Manahan.
Yep.
Bliss, right?
Yes.
And yeah, it's fine. We, within our bylaws, can do that. So it'll be in September.
We can do it as a one-time thing this year, and then we do actually have to amend
change
the bylaws.
Okay, thanks for adding that.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, still with the BFA artifacts here, Nate has begun to transfer some to a more suitable location, which is on the bottom floor on the south end. Reg has suggested that we plan to distribute both the 1980 history books and the 2005 history books to present faculty. Just, you know, as Donna was saying, they're getting moldy and they need to be out of there. There are also BFA inscribed dishes to consider. It's a 4-piece place setting, a dinner plate, a dessert plate, a cup, and a saucer. The cups and the saucers are fewer in number because Shirley started giving them to retirees back in the 90s. Things that we should be considering, and Donna has that on the agenda, is fundraising and maintaining our digital footprint, the Facebook page and the web page, and the alumni participation in the 100th anniversary of BFA, which is in 2030, which seems far off, but that'll come fast. So I know I've spoken to everybody. Any questions?
I have a little comment. I can show you too tonight. We made a tab on the website for just the alumni, and it's right at the top.
Oh,
Thank you.
Yeah, so I can show
Beautiful.
you that as well.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Louise. Kurt,
Yes.
you are next.
All right, treasurer's report.
We can't have
Um,
actionable things in
We have two assets that the alumni has. One is a fund with Bennett Wealth Management. They handle our monies. That's where our money sits. We also have a checking account with the Union Bank. We get donations from time to time. As the donations come in, we put that money in the checking account at the Union Bank. We meet occasionally, and we all vote on transferring the funds from that checking account to Bennett Wealth Management. To give you an idea of the activity, from the beginning of 2022, you got to remember that the value of the fund with Bennett Wealth Management changes as the market changes. In the beginning of 2022, value with Bennett Wealth Management was $328.08. We paid out $5,250 in scholarships in 2022. The ending value of the fund at the end of 2022 was I gotta put my glasses on, $165,952.52. So we paid out $5,250 in scholarships in 2022. 2022 was not a good year for the market. As you can see at the end of the year, it was $165,952. Coming to 2023, our beginning balance at the beginning of 2023 is $165,952. We've paid out $5,750 so far this year. And our balance as of August 31st is $171,327.46. That's with Bennett Wealth Management. Our checking account, the Union Bank, balance as of today is $2,912.33. We've had 3 donations this year totaling $1,892.50. That's our activity.
Thank you, Kurt.
Any questions?
Thank you very much.
All right.
The next item on our agenda is old business. I just wanted to explain a little bit about the group. In 2003, Frank Horn, Lena Smith, Anna Hurlbut, Betty Finn, Larry Bouchard, Reginald Godin, and James Pelkey got together for the betterment of the students of BFA and our community. They formed this group and seeded it with money so that the entire purpose of the group was to give scholarships to needy students that were going to higher their education after high school or going to higher education. Since then, there have been 63 recipients of our scholarships for a total of $80,500. From the initial starting of this group, in 2018, we did add our bylaws and mission statements, and as mentioned, we do need to make an adjustment to that for our annual meeting. That's what we are about. Now, in our new business, we're going to ask Polly, who is now the new principal of BFA, welcome, and ask you to talk about this new year at BFA for you and for everyone.
Yeah, well, so for those of you that don't know me, I've been here for 21 years. I came in 2003, and I've been an English teacher for 17 years, and then 3 years as an instructional coach and now principal. So I have felt like part of the BFA family for a very long time. So this year's been super positive, I think. We've had a great start, and just even talking with principals around the state, it sounds like that's kind of the way that everybody's feeling, is we're kind of coming out of the COVID fog and kids are now starting to realize what school's about again. So from the sense I get, I'd love to take a lot of credit on what a great year we're having, but I don't think I can. And the staff, I mean, if the energy was so infectious in the first day back in service, like you could tell that people just really wanted to have a better year. And I feel like we're definitely getting there. So yeah, it's been a great start. Yeah, it's, the honeymoon period's over as of last week. But yeah, we're just kind of plugging along, and we have our pep rally on Friday, and then homecoming weekend. Spirit Week's been going on. That's been really fun to see everybody dressing up, and yeah, no, it's off to a great start.
I have to say, the new flooring here is
Yeah.
absolutely beautiful. You've
Isn't
had
it
some
great?
things redone for
Yes.
this year.
Yeah. Yep. It looks great. We have a great maintenance crew. Len Smith is the head of our maintenance crew, and he said, "What colors do you want?" I'm like, "I don't know." So we pick out colors and everything, because again, you want to honor BFA and its history, but then you also want to upgrade. So yeah, it does looks great. Yeah.
It does. I want to say thank you for the meeting that we had
Yeah.
a few weeks ago, and the new space. We're very excited about it.
Yes, yeah.
think that'll be
I'm
nice.
excited too. Again, so Reg came up and he gave me some of those books, and I was
Oh.
delighted. Yeah, exactly. And so I said, Reg, why don't you put them in the office? And so many people have walked in and said, I don't have one of these. I want one of these. And
Ooh.
so
Noted.
yeah, so people would love those history books. Yeah, I'm excited about the space. I know Nate has been working on that for a very long time, and I always hear, I've never actually seen the basement with all the stuff that I hear about. And I think exactly and there's so many kids in this community that they really don't know the history of BFA and really what its purpose was, and just the tradition that has gone on here. And so, if we're about education, shouldn't we be educating kids about BFA? And so I think this is a perfect space. And I wish it was bigger. But I think if we can rotate and just curate and just so kids can get a real feel about BFA history, I think it'd be great.
Where's the room?
So we have it's a walk-in space on the first floor of the original building. It's actually fairly sizable in terms of
Yeah.
display. So I have a couple of students who are already I've talked to and are asking again, when are we going to get started? And we will be doing that very soon.
Yeah, I think it's good. Yeah, I'm thinking the more kids we can get involved in that, the better.
I agree.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been really pleased to see how much information there is on Facebook, and the one that really caught my eye was the homework club.
Oh, yes.
That, I think, is fantastic.
Patty, yeah, Penny
Yes.
Grattan, yes.
How are the teachers? Are they receptive to that, being over here if they're needed?
Oh, well, so the homework club is mostly Penny Grattan. She stays after and just helps kids with homework.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think, and usually kids will see teachers during enrichment, but
Nice.
yeah, I wish more kids took her up on it.
It'll catch
It'll
on,
catch,
right?
exactly.
Right, that's
Yeah,
terrific.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's good, just to give kids the space,
How many students this year?
We are up to 9-10. We had
Mhm.
9-10 as of last week.
Does that count the Missisquoi kids, or do they still come here even?
They don't, well, I mean, that 9-10 is counting all of our lottery kids that come here.
Okay.
But they're not counted in our number for Tech Center.
I was thinking Texas.
Yeah, they're not counted, but 9-10. I think at the The end of last year, we were up to 970, but then came down to 910 with people moving in and out. Yeah. Yep, 910. I know when I started, it was 1,200.
I was just gonna ask you what the highest.
1,200 when I
That was the
started
highest.
in 2003. Larry Trombley tells me that 900s is the 80s, right? He said 80s and 90s it ran around 800 and 900, but I don't know. He said that seemed to be more accurate.
About 1,200 in the late 90s.
1,200,
Through that
yeah.
period. And that was one building.
That was
Right.
one building. That's
Right.
crazy.
We were having study halls in the cafeteria, what used to be the cafeteria.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine. So yeah, 910 and growing. This freshman class that's coming in is the largest one we've had in a very long time. Actually, in the I'm thinking about the pep rally. I don't even think they can fit in their section. Yeah,
There's a
they're
tight
big.
fit when they took their
Yeah,
picture.
they're big.
Yeah.
And then our lowest class is the seniors, so we're retiring the seniors of 180, and we're taking in 250 freshmen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What was your class, Paula? Mine was,
It's like 273.
Wow.
I mean, we came from Central Catholic. We were the largest
Mhm.
graduating class
we were
at that time.
close to 300 too, yeah. We were,
So were you the first class when Central
Yeah.
Catholic had closed? In
Yes.
Right? That's
We
what
were,
Rich was
we were
telling
raising
me.
our hand and standing up to answer.
And you got thrusted
Yeah.
to BFA.
Yeah, I tell you, it was like,
Yeah.
Night and day.
yeah. My father always said, I wish everybody had adopted your way.
Yeah, I meet with Reg pretty regularly. He comes in and we
good.
chat, and I said, "Tell me everything I need to know, Reg." And he was telling me that
Yeah.
it was actually the closing of Central Catholic
Yeah.
that had shot up the enrollment.
Yep,
Yeah.
we were and
Mhm.
they
Well, that's how-
adapted well.
That's how a number of us got our jobs. Mr. Pierce was
Yeah.
literally, we were, I think we were 8 or 9 student teachers, a big number.
Yeah.
And he was literally in the halls.
Sign
Miss
here.
So-and-so,
Were you
Mrs. So-and-so,
signing?
you know, and, oh, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 years later, Peter Millette came up and he said, you know, we don't have your transcript in the files. I said, well, I never was asked for one. You know, we just said, sign here.
Yeah.
Some were hired over the phone.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, my husband was too. In fact, they said to his then wife,
it's crazy.
oh, your husband has an English minor, well, bring him along.
Oh my gosh. That's
And then he
great.
had to get his teaching credentials.
Yeah, we're not too far off the mark now. Yeah, it's like, oh, do you want to teach? We'll get you a provisional license. Yeah, I know.
That's some cool history to put in print,
No,
I
it
think.
is.
Yes.
You know,
That's the kind of stuff.
Yeah.
that
Is it in the history
Not
book?
only you were talking about students not knowing
Yeah.
about, they're on it. Most of the teachers do
Yeah.
not know.
No, exactly.
And I think that is even more important.
Yeah.
The
Mhm.
teachers should know.
I mean, in the basement, the history of building that building, like
Oh, yeah.
getting estimates for flooring, you know, back.
We have that at the museum.
Yep.
That was transferred to the
I
museum.
mean, that's, yeah, oh, it did go to the
think I
museum.
gave that to you in a
No.
bag.
It's- I
Yeah.
get,
Um,
yeah, so, yes, there's quite a lot of that, and I think that the 2 history books are really good, but they don't have that anecdotal
Yeah.
information, you know, that does make it so interesting. And when Doc Holmes and I did the history of St. Albans Hospital, which was this, there were some people at the museum said, really, that was a hospital?
Oh,
You know,
wow.
there are townspeople
Oh,
who
yeah,
don't
right.
know.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, this has been here since the 90s, the late 90s, and so people are not,
Yeah.
younger people don't know this was a hospital.
I think my class was the first all 4 years
Yeah.
here.
Oh,
Because
interesting.
it was your senior year, right?
It was my senior year, yes.
So, I was the first full 4 years in both buildings.
In both
Right.
buildings. Yeah.
Because
So-
Hillary graduated in 98.
Yes,
And I
Hillary.
think that was the first year we
Yes.
were here.
Right.
Right.
And now with the connector. I mean, have you been in the connector yet?
No.
Oh, we should walk
Beautiful
down.
connector.
Oh, we should walk down. Yeah.
I, just real quick, food for thought for later around the history. Do you know how you go into really like where I've seen it is old hotels or even J Peak, where they do and I don't know the right description, you know how they mount it on the frame, Catherine? What's
Yeah.
I don't, there's a name for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Like a
can't
shadow
remember either,
box?
but.
No.
It's,
So the print,
Yeah.
so the, like, either pictures or print, describing the history of
Yeah.
that building or how things came about.
Yeah.
And they can be different sizes, but having that, even in the hallways or, and moving around, where even kids of, within the school each year might stop and read it, or visitors or that kind of thing. Just pieces of history might be interesting to have on the walls, or even the walkthrough or by the gym.
Yeah.
You know?
Interestingly enough, I've recently became the advisor to BFA Mercury, and at our first meeting, we had a couple of students, actually a few students who were wanting to write articles about the history of the school, and they had brought it up. So we will be having a couple that are looking to go in that direction,
love to work
and they
on
will
that.
definitely be contacting you. We've already talked about it. And so I think that's probably a nice opportunity to potentially get some of that in writing and up on the
Right.
walls.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, there are some really interesting little notes, like our first headmaster died in office, died in the building.
What?
Yeah,
Really?
yes,
I
yes.
never heard that.
Oh my
Yes, and that, so when I tout you as the first female head, there was a woman ahead of you, but she was never given the designation. She was interim till the end of the school year, which wasn't long.
Right, and it was like 1945, right?
No, I
No?
wouldn't, was it
I thought it
that
was
late?
real- I thought it was
Because
real-
he came over from Church Street, Mr. Dickinson,
Yeah.
to here, so 15 years maybe, but,
Oh.
yeah, I'm not exactly sure when he died, but it would show it under his picture.
Yeah, interesting.
Oh.
Yeah, because that's why everybody's like, oh, you're the first female. I'm like, I hear there was a woman.
But
He's
not
the
really.
interim.
Not, yeah,
Yeah, I
not
wanna
really. She
meet
never
her.
was called
Yeah, exactly.
headmistress or
Yeah,
anything like
exactly.
that. Well, it was Miss Beeman, and
Oh.
one of the cups for the junior jamboree, I think, right, is named for her? The
Yes, it
Beeman
is.
Cup.
Oh,
Quartet.
okay.
And I think
Yeah, that's right.
she is the founder of the Mercury, right?
Yes, she is.
Miss Beeman, yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
There's some, yeah,
See, that would be a great story.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah, for sure.
she is, yep.
Yeah.
Good for her too. I like it. Yeah.
I think there's so much history just all of us can share. And I know, one thing that used to be so important to the BFA history was the BFA family. And I think that, I'd like to see that come back more between the faculty and maybe have more events that are for faculty and family.
Yeah.
And things like that.
That would be
But there's so many like pictures I have of teachers all, gathering
Yeah.
and mostly appropriate.
No, I
But stuff that maybe we could gather and put in fun pictures that maybe we can put in the frame.
That would be
That would be nice.
That might be a segment of the Mercury every time,
I think
Oh,
we might
historic
head in that direction.
back in
That would be
history.
a neat
The Mercury is largely an online publication now, so
Oh, that's too bad.
there is an annual print edition, and they've done some actual printing of previous Mercury editions, but not a lot on the history itself.
Right.
So that might be a direction that we head this year.
Well, the first yearbooks were Mercury annuals,
Yes,
yeah.
and the Mercury was originated as a magazine.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Because there used to be a student, I don't know what to call it, a student fee here. And for that, you got the Mercuries
Okay.
and you got your yearbook.
Oh,
So every year, I don't remember how many dollars, it was not a lot, even for back then.
Right.
And that, we never had a yearbook drive and had to pay for yearbooks at all. It was
Right.
out of that fee.
Oh.
I think until we added the first edition where we then became an independent school and had to follow so many of the state guidelines,
Yeah.
which said you couldn't charge your kids to go to school.
oh.
So
Yeah,
I think
got
it,
you.
it was along in there where it was discontinued. So I graduated in '65 and we were still, I think my brother was still doing it in '67.
Oh.
So, and not long after that, it was gone.
Do you have any questions for us, Polly?
I don't. Other than just like, yeah, I mean, I guess it's more of a statement, like, if, as you come up with these ideas and everything, if you want to ever just talk them out, that's great. I'll do whatever I can to help that along.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
you're
I think we all
welcome.
appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I think it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do you want me to show you the website real quick of where your alumni tab is, just so you know? So, if you were to go to the Maple Run BFA, right, the BFA webpage, you're right there, alumni.
That's great.
Yeah.
It was
and-
so
Oh,
wonderful
that is,
before.
yes.
Yeah, and then
Wow.
there's all of your info right there. And so as you want to add or change, you just contact Jamie Bristol and she'll update it for you.
Thank you.
That's great.
That was, because it was really a trick to find it.
You had to dig in, yeah.
Yeah, we
exactly.
did.
Yeah, so we just put a little tab right there.
Thank you so much.
I don't know what our role will be in the 100th anniversary, but I think we'd
Yeah.
like to be part of it.
Yeah,
I'll
no,
speak for
for
myself
sure.
anyway, so.
No, for
Is it too soon to appoint a committee?
I don't think, so we have 7 years? 7 years, I don't think so.
Well, it comes so fast.
I know,
It will
when you
be
start doing
fast.
school years, I mean, we did 3 years of COVID school, and that seemed like a blink, and that was 3 years. So yeah, I don't think so.
We talked about it at the last meeting, and I was going to reach out to people that I know are alumni that work here,
Yeah.
but that might be easier if you send out an email to faculty
Who
saying,
would like to be interested in.
right, and that we're looking for, current teachers
Yes,
that work here that would be interested in helping
and
us.
helping with the 100-year celebration. Yeah.
But just to be crystal clear, we are not in charge.
No, I know.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I feel like if someone is gonna play it, we'll just show up.
Yeah. Well, I was telling someone that, I talked to the music director, oh, for heaven's sakes. Bushy.
Eric.
No,
Eric.
Bushy.
Oh, Eric, yeah.
About, I would be sure that there are somewhere in our archives, music from Sterling Weed, who was the first band
right,
director.
yeah.
And would Eric be interested in having some 2 or 3 pieces, get the kids to know that? And so Reg says, are you heading this up? And I said, no, I'm just sharing ideas.
There for
So
ideas.
that's a great idea.
That's it. Yeah, I think a lot of it, like your, I don't know what department, drafting, whatever, about the blueprints for the building. I think there's so much that each department could possibly do
Yeah.
to, as they are part in the celebration, however that works out.
So I'm going to move along because we're on a time limit in Zoom.
Yes, we are.
I just wanted to mention that our plans for the upcoming year, I'm not sure we actually are going to have a presence at the homecoming football game as a board, but we fully support that and hope they win. We are planning at this point to do scholarships again. The website update, I was just going to make people aware that we are found on the, and now we're easily found on the BFA site. We do have a Facebook page. We are updating that. We do need some help in people monitoring that. We've had a few scammers. So we are looking for interested parties. The storage and display space at BFA, I know the students are interested and we need that.
We are, and the space has been cleared, and we're making moves after homecoming.
Yeah, perfect.
I'll be a little busy this week.
No, and absolutely. That's not a push. I just think it's important to mention that we've finally got a space where people can see. One of the comments that we've heard is they wanted us to coordinate a reunion for older years as a group. I just want to throw that out there. I think that we need people if we're going to do that. And we need to have fundraisers. We're losing more money than we're making. Paula, thank you for attending. Did you have anything you would like to say?
No, I was just curious and wanted to come by and see what you're all about. And I think it's very exciting that we have an alumni Association.
Well, if
Finally.
it hadn't been for Frank
Finally.
Hoare and Red
I
Goodman, we
Reg.
might not have.
Yeah.
I know, so.
Because
And Larry
Frank,
Bouchard.
years and years and years ago, when there was a very active alumni association, had some money that he found that was alumni money. So he stuck it in an account at Franklin Bank, and it wasn't until he retired that he looked at that account and all that, you know, the wild 80s of high returns and everything, we had all this money. And so that's when he got people together to say, well, we got a stash here, what are we gonna do with it?
Right.
So that was really
Great.
good, and that's why one of our scholarships is named for him. And then Reg pushed on after Frank and did a lot, that's why our second of whatever, how many we give is named for Reg. So, that's good.
Well, I want to say thank you, Polly, for coming. Thank you, Paula, for coming. And thank you for the board. I think that a lot of the stuff we do is not real showy. People don't know what we do, which is kind of what you want when you're doing the scholarships. But I just want to say thank you. You are a pleasure to work with. I appreciate that you show up and you know what we're doing and you're willing to help do things to get things done. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you for
Thank you.
Thank you.
everything
You're a
and for
good leader.
organizing this
And
annual
thank you,
meeting too.
Channel 15, for being here. I appreciate that, Hunter. I believe it is, can I have a time check again, please?
6:35.
6:35, and we will adjourn our meeting.